All right, I'm gonna watch like your first fight or so. We'll see where you're at, and then I'm gonna start talking about things. But to be honest, I don't expect to have tons for a GM1 player, right? It's probably just gonna be bits here and there. Ooh, good. Though, for people watching, see how he's controlling the off angles, denying the tracer. The wrap around the front there was a risk, though. They don't have a Mercy, but still, they have Sojourn. Sojourn's a whole-ass hero. So rather than wrapping around the front, maybe we come around this side of the statue for that play, but otherwise... I'm just so much more paranoid about getting one tap now. Nice. Yeah. Great amp timing, great everything. Literally, the only thing I got for that was wrap around the pillar the other way, just in case. Though now we should be pushing up. They don't need you capping point, yeah?
Objective A captured.
So this is kind of a team thing. You don't want everyone capping point. And it should be either your Kiriko or your Tracer capping the point, because they can, they're undiveable. That's literally it. You guys can leave them alone on the point, and they will be undiveable, and they can get out alive if some asshole comes for them, right? And Lucio in particular, okay, let me back up a second. And some of this you probably know and understand, right? But I'm just going to say it all just in case, or for like anyone watching. This choke is one of the most narrow chokes in the game. And if they can stop you and the cart in here, it can be really hard to ever get the cart moving again. Yeah, it's so expensive. It costs tons of ult economy to get it moving again. So once you guys cap, you want to take as much space as you can, and then give it up as slowly as possible in a bid to get the cart through here. And Lucio lets you all take that space, but he also lets y'all kite. So once you have to give that space up because you're only 4 people, he can speed you out. Yeah? So, but instead you guys just kind of gave all that space up and you let them take all of this, and this next fight might be harder than it needs to be because of it. That said, you pushing card is fine. Tracer pushing card is fine. Kiriko pushing card is fine. It kind of depends on what your goals are. But so, like, I probably would have put your Kiriko on cart still, right? Because, like, if we back up a couple steps and you sped the rest of your team up, yeah, A, you'd be up here anyway, but also B, as the cart comes, even as the cart is, like, further back here, you can still be moving it, and Kiriko can be contributing from the cart. You can't really do shit. Your team's just taking a 4v5 while you're twiddling your thumbs, and that sucks. Kiriko can at least help from range, yeah? Yeah, nice. Good awareness, dude. Yep. Your amps are on point, your awareness is on point, and you're doing a really good job peeling, controlling off angles, etc. I think it's just like little optimization stuff. Like right now, you don't need all these people on cart. Yeah? Leave Kiriko on cart, push up with speed. Kiriko can TP to you if you guys need her, or if she gets dove. You can always speed everyone back, etc. But right now, if we were up on this corner, we can be already, like, pressuring out these DPS, wasting their cooldowns, back up along the wall, yeah? Or we could hold this corner, back up to this corner, back up to this corner. If you had made the move fast enough, and I've seen teams do this, even with a Lucio on the other team, you can literally get up to here. You can literally spawn trap them. And then back out, get to this wall to break LOS. Or if you notice they aren't coming out this door, as soon as you think they're going to come out here, you amp speed and you boogie. And you get to here, and then you, again, just corner to corner to corner backing out. You can push up so fucking far. And it's always easier to give up space than take it. So the more... I'm not saying that, like, every time you can go that far, obviously. It's more the idea of take as much as you can. Take as much as you feel you can get away with, and then you have miles to give up for free while wasting their cooldowns and wearing them down, yeah? That's a bit more of a team thing than a just you thing, but you're instrumental in that play because you can speed them in and out, yeah? Someone's behind you. Do you hear him? Dang. Dang! That was the first time so far your awareness failed you. Hearing that might save you, but also... Okay, where's the moment? I'll show you the moment. Even if you don't hear the tracer, the moment that ult goes off, we need to back off the cart because we almost have beat and they're going to push. They're just gonna, yeah? So we hop on this wall and we start backing out, and you might end up juking or notice that tracer anyway, just coincidentally, but either way, that gets you out to safety, and then you turn right back around with beat after they've pushed on this. So then they overextend, and then you can push back in with beat right after. Ideally, you know, who knows how it plays out in reality, but that's sort of like the idea, right? That's the plan. Do you have any questions about any of this so far? Is this all making sense? Yeah. Good flank on that tracer. And I guess that's the other thing, is just be expecting this, yeah? We should already be watching for anyone to be coming from here and anyone to be coming from here, either like underneath or over or around, whatever. Head on a swivel. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody might even drop from there. Yeah? Although that's less likely given just their, well, team comp, yeah? But if they had a Genji, because Genji can just dash up here, run over, and then drop, right? So, like, think about everywhere they can be coming from and be looking around a little bit more. We actually talked about who should stay in payload, and now I realize I was wrong. It's good that you talked about it, yeah? And there are situations in team comps where it should be the Lucio, yeah? And there's situations where it should be the Tracer. Sometimes, like, if you have ult, like, if you have beat and the cart's just moving, maybe Kiriko pushes up instead of you, just so she can build more ult charge, because Fox is strong, yeah? There's all kinds of reasons you might shift that decision-making, just so we're clear. But in that moment,
yeah, I'll turn it up.
Yeah.
Feel to this beat.
Yeah. Nice. Again, little things, but it's going to take a moment before this starts moving again, and also now you got more teammates with you, etc. Look to wrap around the outsides, yeah? We might get a nice little spam angle here. No one ever expects this one for some reason, right? You'll get people backing up and get some damage into. Yeah. Oh my god, my brain just went blank. Sorry, I had a thing, and it's gone now. So I'm just gonna watch a little more, and maybe it'll come back. Sorry. Oh, right. You want to be thinking about who your speed pocket is. Yeah? And different team comps, it can be different people. Speed and Tracer actually isn't the worst. You can go on flanks with her. Your healing is actually impactful to a Tracer, even your passive. But also, she doesn't have to use as many blinks if you're speeding her, and that's really nice. But your primary your primary pocket is this ROM. And especially when he goes punchy mode, that's when he really wants speed, is when he's punching people especially. So, chill with him more, yeah? We have to be careful of this Sojourn, obviously, and she kind of makes vibing up on walls a lot harder than they necessarily need to be. And one might be tempted to vibe over here, but if that Orisa hits the spear, you go in the drink. I say from experience, don't be me. But try to find some angle where you can be helping him, at least as much as possible, yeah? Maybe we come up here, etc. And then, think of him as like your staging point, yeah? And what I mean by that is you're keeping him in aura while we're looking around to see where the flankers are, what's going on, where we need to go, what we need to do. And then from him, you go do what you need to do. Yeah? You go peel, you go make your play. Whatever it is that you need to do, you go do it. And then once it's done, we return to him and at least give him our passive speed. Because he can really do some shit with it. Sojourn doesn't need it. Kiriko doesn't need it, right? Nice. Any other fight, your aggression was good. This fight in particular, I would have liked it if you hung further back and played it a little safer. And the reason is, you have beat, and they had Sojal, Pulse, which they used, and beat, and they're getting close to this. You might even think that they have this, yeah? So, I would be ready to use beat. Ready to beat their ults. Or, like, save them from clutching this fight back. If you don't have beat, if they don't have ults, whatever, then yeah, you just fucking run them down because you guys had a massive advantage. But there is, however small, the risk there that they kill you with beat, and then Sojourn pops ult and rolls your team because this ult is broken, right? And a GM Sojourn, probably gonna hit the shots. Nice.
Let the Kitsune guide you. Appreciate it.
Ooh, onto the cart. You obviously know the tech. You did this on purpose. But for those who don't know, doing this from a low ground onto the cart, onto the top there, makes your beat go off faster. Because it takes about a second from level ground onto level ground. It's closer to half a second from level ground onto the cart or onto some stairs, etc. Yeah, good shit. Oh. All right, we're backing out. Good. Good amp, too. Yeah? It's unfortunate because you guys got close to capping, but they got respawns and you're down, so we just leave. Yeah? Looking for the boob. And backing out. Hear the tracer behind you, though? That's your job. Yeah. I think for you, the most important thing to work on, like just for yourself, is your awareness. Not that it's bad, it's good, but you missing this tracer is actually a big mistake on your part. Yeah, she's harassing your backline, and your tracer can also take the duel, but if you help your tracer take the duel, then she just wins it for free, right? Especially in 5v5, but even in Overwatch 1, you're kind of an off-tank, yeah? And if you think about yourself that way, go do off-tank jobs, yeah? Deny angles and high grounds as much as you can. You don't have to win the duel, necessarily, though you got aim, like, sometimes you can. You can just roll this tracer. I believe in you. But you don't have to, right? You just have to deny them. And you have to be aware of them. I think I sometimes tunnel vision on the tank even though I can't kill him. So, the thing is, you're one of the few heroes in the game that should be shooting tanks and shields. You should be. Yeah? Because your projectile is kind of hard to land unless you're like right on top of somebody. And it's impossible to miss a tank or a shield. So you're getting guaranteed value off of it. And you can chip away armor, break those resources, etc. And that can be a huge help to your team. You're just not going to kill them, right? It's your poke. When we're poking, poke tanks. That's actually really good. But, yeah, be ready to then turn from that tank to anything else that's better, right? Unlucky. Yeah. Your amp timings are on point. Like, on point. Which... It's kind of funny because I think amp timings actually aren't that hard. They really aren't, but I think people get a little bit too in their head about it and they make it too hard. You hold it till you need it, and when you need it, you fucking move. You boogie, yeah? When you need to move or when multiple people are about to die, you fucking amp. Easy. But, like I said, it's not just that you're doing that, you're doing it, like, on the dot, like the very moment. And that's really good. That's really nice to see. Nice. We tried to get out. You could have hit beat there. But... Oh, okay, I did hear... So that Tracer's behind us. We just outrun her. But now we're 3. We back... Okay. The decision there was don't fight the Tracer. Run in. We're 4 people. And we can take a quick 4v4 and just leave her in the dust. Yeah? And she can't spawn camp or tank. And I honestly don't think it's a bad decision. Really. But... especially in hindsight, but I kind of think just... as a default, you should just default to clearing angles first. You almost always need to clear an angle first. She's ulting. I kind of get it. But I don't know like what the communications, what comms are right now. So much better would have been for her to back out in this moment with Kiriko helping her. And then you help your Tracer win this 1v1, speed your tank in, and you guys take the fast 5v4 with this ult. But something went wrong somewhere here, and you tried to help, yeah? You gotta help 2 different people across the map. It's unfortunate. But the one on you're currently on top of was the right choice, I think.
Let's get some healing beats going.
There are no hard, fast rules in Overwatch, right? We know this. Nothing is universal in this game. Weird shit happens all the time. But about as close to a hard rule in this game, once you get into high elo and scrims in particular, is you have to clear off angles. You have to herd the cats before you push. Owl teams fuck this up. It's so funny to me because like you'll see them be like, oh well, we can just ditch this person and go push into their team, and they do that, and their team just absorbs it and backs out, and then they push in with the person that's now ready to pinch, and now your resources are split up all over the place, and everything is really hard for you. Exceptions to every rule and all that. But like I said, it is close to a hard rule as you could possibly get in this level and in scrims. Clear first, herd the cats into the middle. If all 5 people are playing in the middle lane or on the objective, great. If anyone is on an off angle, you have to clear that off angle, pressure them out before you can really push into the core. Or, get a pick, kill them, something, yeah? But assuming equal resources, equally matched teams, all of that, the positioning game, you have to herd the cats out.
My ultimate is charging.
Breaking them down.
I also want you to think about... Sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm not going to rewind, but when I said you should have used Beat for the Orisa ult, the other reason you wanted to do it is look at the time. So you beat that ult. You would live for sure. I think your Rum would have lived at least for a little bit longer. Maybe it means you guys turn that fight. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you still lose that fight, right? You had time to build another beat, though. Now you don't. Yeah? You will. This is now your last beat for the game. It's all you got. To be fair, it's their last beat of the game, too, and they got nothing else. So, like, you guys are in a pretty good spot. But you'd have Rom Kiriko for this fight, and then you'd have beat again for the next fight.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Obviously, you don't want to waste it on, like, if you are sure it's a lost fight, obviously you don't waste it, but I wasn't sure that was lost. I think you might have been able to clutch that, yeah?
Catch these healing waves.
Or at the very least gotten, like, more ults out of them for the trade. Hit the boop a little bit early while she had gold, but thank you for backing off the cart. And now we're clearing. Huh. Good job. That Lucio cleared your off angle. You cleared the Lucio. Now your Sojourn can retake that angle, assuming she has her jump. Yeah? Shit like that is really good. Like, if this can go so many layers deep, use the off angles. Deny the off angles. Deny the people denying the off angles. That Kiriko's 1 HP, though. Did you... Oh, good. Good. You got her. Nice. Yeah, like I said, you are very good at the game. There's only, like, bits and pieces here and there. The biggest thing is
Ready for battle.
being ever so slightly more disciplined about backing out. And looking... So you can look around and see what's going on, even if you then go right back in. And it's not that you don't do that. You do that a lot. You just don't do it every single fight, right? And it every now and again kind of fucks you over. So, yeah. Discipline about being out of the fights. And what was the other thing? Shit.
the objective.
To be
Your amps were on point. You're controlling off angles when you see them, and I really think like the times you didn't was an awareness issue, not a not knowing to do it issue.
Not ready to overclock.
Yeah, do you have any questions about any of this? I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Oi.
Let's kick this off.
And we see the tracer, and I would already be crossing. Yeah? You really want to cross between that Sojourn can take the position to shoot you out of the air? Or, if you're really worried about the Sojourn, which could be fair, like, whoop, you were already up here, so you just come out, boom. But we saw him setting up, so go cut him off, yeah? Don't even let him get in on your team, get the angle. Look how scary this is right now for you guys. You're all getting herded into one area that they can then easily pinch. And they have all the angles. You are but a mere Lucio. You can only do so much, but you can deny this tracer. And then that at least gives your team a little bit more space to push out this way, maybe, etc. Yeah? What you could work on, like awareness? Yeah. The backing out and the awareness, like I said, you get an A- on those, right? But at this elo, at these scribs, maybe we're going for that A+. And then, like I said, you're already doing it a lot, but just understanding that this, not that you have to win it every time. Sometimes you can, and that's great. But you have to at least try to deny these, yeah? If shit really goes wrong, like maybe she pressures you out instead, that's unfortunate. It'll happen, but at least you tried, right? Trying to control these angles can be really huge. And if you find that you are constantly getting pressured out first by the tracer that's getting the good angles, then maybe you get your tracer and you force a 2v1, yeah? You can go get help if you need to. Or alternately, just to like throw out more ideas. Maybe your tracer comes up here to 1v1 this tracer, which then leaves you over here pressuring these supports from, you know, whatever angle. Maybe coming from here, where your tracer is currently. Again, I know you know this at least instinctively. I don't know if you know this, like, fully. So I'm just going to draw this out. Almost all of these maps are built on 3 lanes, yeah? It's almost always 3 lanes. Sometimes they get funky and weird, right? And also they usually are 3 lanes intersected by 3 lanes. Like you got this one down here at the bottom. You got this like grid that you can reduce the map to, yeah? And there's variation on this. This isn't like hard set in stone by any stretch, but very often tank DPS on one, and then the Lucio on some kind of angle where you can help the tank and control the other. So you can control all 3 lanes, sort of thing. Yeah? And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be that split apart. There's also this concept of webbing, where, like, if you have somebody hanging in here denying this angle, well, they can be seen by the support that's hanging in here, who can also help the tank. Yeah? And who can help the person over here, and the person over here, right? Like, each person can see multiple people to get help or help them, is sort of the idea of webbing. However, whatever the formation ends up being, like, I don't want you to think it has to be support tank DPS. This is like one example, one way to do it. But my point there is one of the best things you can do on Lucio, the support of supports, is balance the map. And what I mean by that is if we see our double-pocketed tank here, and we see the Tracer pushing out the right lane, then we should look to control the left lane, because there's no one doing it, and it's free access to our backline, yeah? And if you balance the map and deny this, then it's you guys surrounding them instead, and you get good angles to spam, you can always go back, etc. In an ideal world, you find angles that allow you to keep them in your aura and contest the angle. You won't always have that luxury. Like, being out on this wall right here, right now, might just get you, like, capped by that Sojourn, right? So, but that's like the big brain positioning when you can find it. We're controlling the lane that our DPS isn't, and we got people in our aura and we're helping them. Oh my god, that's like the Lucio dream play. And then from there, from that staging, you can split to go wherever you need. The other option is you can counter-rotate rather than balance. So this Tracer's pushing up here, but your Tracer's pushing out this way. And maybe you go with your Tracer because the two of you can kill both supports, and this Tracer is not going to kill a Kiriko, Sojourn, Ramatra. She's just not gonna. These three are not going to die to her alone. It's not going to happen, right? If she has Pulse, maybe, and your Sojourn doesn't have Suzu. So maybe right now you choose to go on this flank with your Tracer, counter-rotate theirs because she just can't help. She can't do anything to protect her backline, and you guys can roll them. Yeah? So those are what I would call the two bread and butter Lucio playstyles. And which one is better in the moment can be... There is no hard, fast rule, right? It's kind of what you think is best, and experience will help, and just try things, right? But, yeah. Do I want to balance the map and control it, or do I want to counter-rotate so I can get easy picks on the back line, and then this Tracer does air? Or even if this Tracer, let's say the Tracer gets the stick on your Sojourn, or even your Kiriko, kills them, but you got both their supports, right? Fuck it, that trade's worth. Yeah? So, there are reasons to do either one. Dealer's choice. But that's kind of... That would be the other thing I think to work on. And the funny thing is... Maybe not funny. The nice thing about these off-angle-ish positions is you have a tendency to see a lot more of what's going on, too. Like I said, right here, right now, is a little bit scary because of that dick. But otherwise... See how you can just see what's going on in the fight while keeping people in your aura and denying this and etc. You can like multitask like a motherfucker from positions like this when you can find them. Cool. I'm going to watch like one more fight probably just to see if there's anything new, but I'm probably just going to be repeating myself at this point. Oh, I remember. The other thing is more of a team thing, but... you're instrumental in it, and that is the idea of taking space so you can then give it up. So you can just wear down more resources and make the enemy team have to push through a hell of a lot more hell to do anything. Good. In ranked especially, I'm not saying you necessarily want to do this in a scrim, but in ranked especially, I find myself controlling here because if no one on my team is controlling Hotel, I gotta. You're in a scrim. So, like, your team, you're not the best person to control this usually, but if you see the opportunity to deny somebody, it's really good, right? Because that's their primary flank. And the support, right? Your jobs boil down to help your teammates with whatever they're trying to do while denying whatever the enemy team's flankers are trying to do. You deny their DPS or, like, their positioning as much as you can. Dang. I was just about to say, this might be when we split from the bread and butter playstyle, though. Yeah? We see this tank pushed up, fighting our tank. I think you would have noticed the Tracer here. We have wall hacks on her right now, so maybe you didn't, but I think you noticed her blink into there. But either way, we can assume... God damn it. I hate that it does that. we can just assume in this moment that the enemy team wants to push this way. That leaves their backline free. So right here, right now, is when Lucio goes to make a play. And to be fair, you might go turn this corner and not see anything. Like, maybe that Mercy's not there and you just see nothing. Well, shit. Then maybe you could, like, come around, boop somebody into your team, or you could just say fuck it and come back out. Like, you got options from there. But if we're thinking ahead of what's happening next, they have the resource advantage and they are pushing. I can either help my team kite or I can counter-rotate and look for a play. Yeah? And you don't have to commit on the play. Like I said, you might go to look and then see nothing and just back out again. But now would be the time for you to go look to see if there's something you can do. Because if you make a good play right now, and like, for example, if you turn around and you blow away this basically AFK Mercy who thinks she's safe, and then you get the Kiriko turning around away from her tank just as these three are pushed in, you legitimately can turn this fight around. You, personally, the Lucio, can turn this fight around if you make the play. Yeah? If you whiff it, then you whiff it. But, and I'm not saying you have to make the play right now, but you definitely have the option, yeah? Oof. Yeah. But then we end up challenging the Sojourn, and she caps us. She, more than I think just about any hero in the game, shuts down Lucio in particular. She really fucks up how you get to play the game. She makes it so hard to take the really powerful positions for you. Especially when she has a Mercy, because she can body shot for 170. Body shot for 170. That's just so fucking broken if she has damage boost. Woo.
Hold that objective.
Okay.
Objective lost.
We tried to make a play, we couldn't. Whatever. We stalled a little bit. Dying for the stall is better for you than for pretty much anyone else, because if you die last, you'll still catch up, right?
Hiya. Hi. Health bomb charging.
And we're already back in. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know that I go for the stall play there. Like, personally, I just go, that's already lost, and I give it to him. You did have one person, I think, on there trying to stall it out a bit, but I would just then go back to spawn and speed that person back into the fight and try to stop this cart in the choke if you can. But, like, as Lucio in particular, it's not the worst play to make, yeah? It's really not. And, like, maybe sometimes you would actually get a worthwhile amount of time off doing that. So, like, I don't hate it, but I don't think I would have done it. Okay. And here we're just, like, that one, I think, you just ran it down that one fight. So the only time you've just run in front row center. So I'll just, like, chalk that up to we all end sometimes, yeah? And you guys were hella down by the time you got there anyway. I think. Oh, Risa's making a play. Hear the footsteps?
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Stop the payload.
Too close.
This ties into what I was saying, but, like, forget about all the angle stuff that I was talking about. You still want to be up here or higher up on these walls when you can, or around the outsides of the fight rather than coming back to the cart and through the middle. Because it's so much safer for you, and you see so much more what's going on, and you can just keep people in your aura by vibing around the outer edge. And like, most of the time you're doing that, yeah? You don't just like go through the middle very often, but sometimes you get kind of drawn there, and it's really bad for you, yeah? You're not always getting punished for it, but sometimes you will, for sure. So yeah, just trying to stay higher up and around the outsides when you can. Sojourn makes it hard to stay up on walls. Widow makes it hard to stay on walls. Like, sometimes you have to be the ground Lucio, but right now we could be up there for sure. Dang. And see, you end up dying kind of in the middle.
Take everything from them.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'm gonna say, and this is more of a team thing as a whole than like a you in particular. Oh, also, if you have any questions, now's a great time to hit me while I like wrap this up. Your overarching goal as a team, in like the simplest, most general terms, is to surround the enemy team without letting them surround you. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be fully fucking behind them, surrounding them. You don't have to surround them, right? But you have to have 2 at least, and ideally 3 angles. Yeah? If somebody's shooting on the cart and somebody's up on these stairs and somebody's up over here or over here, right? Let me bird's eye view this. So Tracer's walking around the left, so maybe our Sojourn goes around right or our Lucio goes around right. But now you guys came back to the middle, and their Tracer just got free access to your backline, and your Tracer died frontlining. See how that's happening? The flow of this game, think about it from a bird's eye view, if you can. And Lucio, you could even just literally see kind of a bird's-ish eye view. Deny these angles so you can take them. Or just take them for free if they're giving them to you. But if you guys are in the middle and you push in, that gives the Tracer free access. Yeah? Never mind that it's also just easier for you guys to die here. And like I said, owl teams screw it up. Like, next season of Overwatch League, if you watch Overwatch League, watch the team fights and, like, watch when they lose team fights. Whichever team you want, when they lose team fights. Nearly all of them will lose a team fight after not clearing an angle that they could have cleared first. Like, they had the opportunity to clear it, and they missed it, or they pushed past it or something, and they didn't clear an angle. And that is what happens nearly every time anyone loses a fucking fight in the Overwatch League. I swear. It's wild. I mean, sometimes people just, like, make mistakes or, you know, Sojourn just gets the pick or whatever. But even when Sojourn gets the pick, it's usually because she was on an off angle that they didn't clear. Nice! Sorry, I'm gonna back up and watch that play from you, and then we'll call it. Nice. What if I'm in another lane and the other team decides to push? So holding if you're up on walls especially, but you're so fast. That's why I'm saying it's the staging point. If you have to leave and go do something else, you're the team's problem solver. It is your job to put out fires all over the fucking map. This is just like good staging that makes it easier to do some of it and then get to other places. So like if you're over here, let's say, denying a tracer from coming around this way, and then you're like, oh shit, they need help over here. Boop, boop. You're there, right? One more jump and you're on this lane. You can just get across the map, no problem. You just have to be looking so you can get there. And if you have to use your amp to do it, you do, but like, try to hold your amp if you can so you can amp your team when you get there. But sometimes you just have to fucking hit it and boogie. I get that. But yeah, part of why Lucio in particular is so good at doing this, also Tracer is so good at doing this, is because you guys have the maneuverability, the speed, to say fuck it and leave and go do something else when you need to. This is just like your starting point, and it's where you should try to reset to. And again, not saying necessarily this lane, I just am here. Maybe we're like playing these stairs sort of thing. I don't know. I don't like playing these stairs if you're on defense because you have to cross open space. I'm just like throwing out ideas, ways to think about it. But yeah, does that all make sense? Can I clarify that any further? Sometimes I explain things weird, so like, feel free to tell me like I just said something that made no fucking sense, and I'll try again. Makes sense? All right, cool. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think there's anything I talked about that you're not already doing at least some of the time. Yeah? Hopefully that, like, this cemented some of the things to make it a little bit more clear. But a lot of it is just, you know, doing it a little bit more consistently. You are worthy of GM1. Like, you are a good fucking player, for sure. Yeah, and I love working with teams, and I love working with people over time, and I fucking love these high elo VODs. I get a few GM VODs, but not a ton. So if you ever want to drop another one, if your team as a whole or anyone from your team ever wants to come drop a VOD, please feel free. Work on awareness and space control? Exactly.